Today is the last lecture of week 5, section 3 of BEDS 001. We have already discussed culture, different components of Indian culture, and also values underlying Indian culture. Today in section 3 of week 5, we will be discussing values in curriculum, application of values, and value conflict. What do you mean by values in curriculum? Before we talk about values in curriculum, what do you mean by curriculum? Curriculum would simply means the syllabus that you have to teach the students in an institution, in schools, in colleges, universities. So, what is values in curriculum? Teachers are very important and central part of how to inculcate integrate values into the curriculum in all subjects. While teaching language and literature, there are so many values which are underlying the poetry which are to be elicited. Let me repeat again. When we talk about values in curriculum, we are talking about how teachers play a very important role to integrate values in the curriculum in all subjects. For example, when teachers are teaching language and literature, the values underlying prose or poetry are to be elicited. For example, a particular poem would be talking about where hard work is good, where greed is not good, where helping others is good. So, when a teacher teaches language and literature, he or she plays a very important role in bringing out these values in the poetry or in the prose. Then also in creative writing, during English classes, during creative writing exercise, the teacher can help the students to get in touch with the deeper self and to be authentic and reflective. So, when we talk about values in curriculum, it is up to the teachers to bring what is values from these curriculum. It should not be just coming to the class and reading the lessons and just teaching what is there on the book. A teacher should go beyond what are the subjects, that is, the teacher should bring about the values which are in the poetry, in the subjects, and also during creative writing, during English literature, grammar classes, the teacher can bring about what is called a reflective attitude of the students so that the students can develop what is called values which would determine how he or she will behave with others, member of the society, and how his values would be instilled and developed in later part of his or her life and also in the current situations. Through history lessons, students appreciate and acknowledge their past heritage. They can relate to the present and visualize the future. I know a lot of times, many a time, when we have been through the books of the school children, we ourselves have been students, and when we see that this is English subject, this is history subject, this is geography, this is Hindi, this is maths, and so on, at times we take it at face value. We do not try to go beyond what this particular subject is trying to teach us. Many a time students read the subjects from examination point of view. They just read the subjects and say, and according to them, a lot of time they would say that, okay, I have to by heart this subject, I have to read the subjects, and in the exam I have to get this marks, I have to pass in this subject. At times the values underlying the subjects is not, it does not come out, it's not reflected. So the teachers have to bring out these values when they are teaching these subjects. For example, through history lessons, Students would appreciate and acknowledge their past heritage. They would be able to relate to the present and visualize their future. Let me give you an example. When we talk about history, the very fact that there were a lot of heroes, there were a lot of leaders who, because of their struggle, because of their contribution, led to what is called our independence. We got our independence in 1947, and it was something which did not come overnight. It was because of the struggles of the leaders, the unsung heroes, women, men who struggled to get our country independence. We have Mahatma Gandhi, we have so many other leaders. And Mahatma Gandhi, I brought out his name because he is the father of the nation, who was the main leader who got us our independence. So history lessons help students to appreciate and acknowledge their past heritage related to the present and visualize the future. So when I talk about subject, when I talk about values in curriculum, it is up to the teachers to bring out these values and curriculum, not just from the point of passing the exam, getting good marks, but also the values underlying these subjects should be brought out by the teachers, and also the students should be able to relate to the teachings of the teachers and also appreciate these values underlying the curriculum. For example, civics inculcate the students the value of citizenship, their duty as well as their rights. Civics teach the students the fundamental rights, what are the duties as a citizen, what are their rights as a citizens, and so on. In geography, student can focus on sustainable development, issues of protection of the environment, interdependence, sharing of natural resources, discipline, verification, perseverance, values which can be developed through science, technology and mathematics. So when we talk about geography, in geography, students can focus on what is called the issues of protection of the environment and also the interdependence of natural resources. Geography will also teach about how India is divided into various geographical divisions, the mountainous region, the coastal regions and so on. And on the other hand, subjects like science, technology and mathematics teaches discipline, perseverance and verifications, which are a very important values which can be developed through these subjects of science, technology and mathematics. So when we talk about the subjects which are carried by students in school, in colleges and university, there are various values underlying this curriculum which has to be brought out by the teachers. The teachers have to make the students understand this values, and it is very important that the students do not just learn the subjects by heart, the subject just from the marks point of view, getting good marks. Yes, getting good marks is very important and it is very prominent part of studying in a educational institution. However, at the same time, learning values through the subjects would also make a person a better human being, would also improve his relationship with other members of the society. So these values have to be brought out by the students and by the teachers, and the students have to be made understood by the teachers. There are so many other ways by which values can be inculcated, values can be passed on, values can be made to be understood by the teachers. For example, teachers may use what is called storytelling techniques, like a story about how there is this very famous story about how a rabbit and a tortoise, they race. The rabbit looked down at the tortoise because the tortoise was very slow, and there was this race competition, and the rabbit thought that he is going to win, and then he was resting in the middle of the race. However, To his utter surprise, the tortoise won the race, which shows that you should not be overconfident, you should not look down on others. Hard work and perseverance pay. So this is a example how teachers can use the story about perseverance, about patience, about respecting others, and also in various other forms like make excursions, make trips, picnics to local places with educational values. You can take students to places which have historical significance. You can take students to places which have beautiful monuments. Talk to children about the past and how they can relate the past to the present, and also have debates, discussion, and also dramas, have drama classes, have portrayal of dramas will also, acting in dramas would also bring out values in students, and a lot of values can be instilled through debates, discussion, dramas, and also through discussions, debates and dramas. It encourages students to work together and provide them with opportunities of self-expression and analysis. So when we talk about picnics, when we talk about visiting historical places, when we talk about organizing debates, discussion, and also organizing dramas, making the students participate in dramas, we give the students opportunities to work collaboratively, to work together, in spite of the differences in terms of their caste, creed, religion, in spite of their religious background that is coming from different parts of the country. When they work together in dramas, it encourages students to work together without any prejudices. And also when students take part in debates, discussion, it provides them with an opportunities of self-expression and also analysis. When teachers have to assess students, teachers need to observe their behavior and responses in school and out of school situations, and assessment can be done by the students themselves and also by the peers. So assessment is very important in terms of how a student is developing. So when assessment is conducted, assessment can be done by the teachers as well as the peers. So when assessment is done by the students themselves and the peers and the teachers as well, it gives them an opportunity to see in which field they are lacking, because these are the mediums through which a person can assess himself or herself through the eyes of the teacher, through his or her own eyes, and through his or her peers. So it is very important to assess students from these mediums, and through these mediums there would be what is called, they would not be biased, because when a peer assess you, when a teacher assess you, when you yourself assess yourself, there will be a very fair assessment of your character, of your personality, and you will be able to improve on areas which you are lacking. So assessment is also another important activity which the teacher should encourage, and assessment should be done by the teacher, by the students as well, the student himself or herself, and also his peer group. When we talk about application of values, we will talk about application of values with a case study. This is a very famous a true story of a dancer by the name of Sudha Chandra. Sudha Chandra, from the age of 3 years, would dance on her own, and by 5 years she was enrolled in a dance school. Let me repeat. This is a case study of a dancer by the name of Sudha Chandra. From the age of 3 years, she would dance on her own. She was very interested in dancing, and by 5 years, she was enrolled in a dance school. She soon became a famous dancer. However, what happened was tragedy struck. On May 2nd, 1981, Sudha was badly injured in a bus accident. In order to save her life, the leg had to be amputated. 6 months after the amputation, Sudha got an artificial leg, but moving this leg was often painful as she tried to dance. The pain became very severe. Due to friction of the skin of the amputated leg and the artificial leg, she was not able to dance like she used to dance before. However, what she did was she endured pain, she tolerated pain and continued to practice her dance. On January 28, 1984, she gave her first public performance after the accident, and it was a great success. This shows the bravery, the commitment that Sudha Chandra had to Indian classical dance of Bharatanatyam, and from this, the values of courage and determination can be reflected through these from the case study of Sudha Chandra. Her family gave her enormous support for her to dance and also assisted her in developing her talent from the age of 5. And however, it was the family who played a very important role, but it was Sudha herself who did not give up her interest in dancing. The accident never allowed her to give up. She had determination, she had courage, she tolerated all the pain because of the accident. She danced with, in spite of her leg being amputated. So this example of Sudha Chandra can help us, can also make us aware of why the values of determination, courage is so much important. Values not to give up on life, because if you don't give up, if you have courage, if you have the courage to face any life situation, you will succeed one day. Then another example is the American president Franklin D. Roosevelt. A very famous American president, Franklin D. Roosevelt. He was known as one of the greatest presidents in American history, leading the country through many tumultuous times. He led his country during difficult times. However, what happened with Franklin D. Roosevelt did not let him lose hope. He also had the courage and the bravery to face this particular situation. And what was the situation that Franklin D. Roosevelt had to face? He was paralyzed from the waist down by a form of polio in 1921. A lot of times he was in the wheelchair, but this did not deter him from serving his terms as American president. He did not want people to lose hope in him, and he did not want people to see him in a wheelchair, because he felt that if people see him in a wheelchair, they would be discouraged. So a lot of times he would take a lens to hide the fact that he was in a wheelchair. However, in spite of his condition, he led the country, America, through many difficult times, and he has served as American president for more than one term in spite of his situation, which was a form of polio, which has made him paralyzed from the waist down. What is value conflict? After talking about values in curriculum, after talking about application of values, let us talk about what is value conflict. When our values come in conflict with each other, what can we do then? Often we carry within us many prejudices or wrong beliefs and do not think whether these are right or wrong. For example, we carry a prejudice, we carry what is called a wrong beliefs about a particular person from another religion, another region, and so on, and which is not good. We carry prejudices, we assume, we make pre-assumption about others on the basis of their caste, on the basis of the background, religion, region, and so on. And what is this value conflict? A value conflict occurs when individual or groups of people hold strong personal beliefs that are in disagreement within themselves or in disagreement with the institution or organization values. For example, you are a person who believes in hard work. You are a person who believes in punctuality. You have this strong personal belief that you should work hard. You have to complete your work in time. You have this strong personal belief that you should be punctual to work. But a lot of other people in your same organization may not believe in this, in your beliefs of punctuality, in your belief of working hard and so on. So it is when certain values, the values that you believe in, your values, the values that you believe in comes in conflict with others because they are in disagreement with the values that you believe in. So a lot of time there would be disagreement, a lot of time there would be a lot of misunderstanding between individual and groups because of these value conflicts. So at times it may lead to such an extent, at times the disagreement, at times argument can exist to such an extent that individual or groups may come face to face. There might be a lot of confrontation. So it brings about what is called disharmony in the institution. It brings a lot of disharmony in the organization. So what do you do when value conflicts occur? And it is very, very, it is very, very important to resolve this value conflicts, because if you want to have peace of mind, if you want to have harmonious relationship with people in your organization, in your institution in which you work in, it is very important to resolve this value conflicts, because if you have value conflicts with others, members of the corporation, institutions or organization that in which you work in, then you will not be able to perform your work properly. So what are the ways, how can you resolve these value conflicts? Sometimes it is better to ignore it because, why I say this, because sometimes a conflict is very small, it is very petty, so it is almost irrelevant. So it is better to ignore it. At times a person may just in the height of his anger may just bluntly say something which is not good. However, this may be because he was very angry at that moment, and it is something which is very petty, it is something which does not hurt your dignity. So it is better to ignore it, and it is better to say, yes, he was angry, because he was angry, he had such this thing. So it is better to ignore it when it is irrelevant. Then another way to resolve conflict is you address it. Often at times conflicts can be resolved by simply addressing it directly. It is better to address this directly. It is better to come face to face with a person and address these conflicts. And also another way to resolve value conflicts is negotiate around it. For example, you have value conflicts with other members of the institution in which you work in. Then what you can do is you negotiate around it, you mediate through it, which means that you negotiate the best possible solution and come to terms with it. That is, it should be a win-win situation for all, because if you do not negotiate, if you do not address it, if you do not mediate it, if the value conflict is really big and relevant, it may not help you to work peacefully. So it is better to address it, to negotiate or mediate through it. So it is very important to do this, to work peacefully and harmoniously in the institution, organization in which you are working in. So when we talk about value conflict, when we talk about what is called application of values, when we talk about what is called values in curriculum, it is very important that these values are inculcated, these values are reflected in your daily lives, because by reflecting, by inculcating and by following these values, you would be able to become a better members of the society. It will enhance your personality development. It will also improve the relationship between yourself with other members of the society. So it is important that these values are learned, these values are inculcated, and these values are followed. So in today's class, that is week 5 section 3, I have completed what is called your values in curriculum, application of values and value conflict. So with this particular class, I have completed week 5 section 3. Thank you so much.